Welcome to this special event with yours truly, Adrian Hanna Dragon. We're gonna meditate, rock and roll, and philosophize, discuss. But first and foremost, as always, I want to say that I am grateful, thankful that my rent is paid, fully paid my rent for this month of February, fully paid my electricity bill for this month of February. So my rent and electricity being paid, I can rock and roll, work out, train, exercise, do the work that I do as an independent athlete, independent artist, independent activist, rock and roll artist, activist, and athlete for the people, for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, rock and rolls it every day. Thank you, farmers, because everybody got to eat. Even Wall Street. If I would have a radio, television show, it wouldn't be an hour. In the content of an hour that I would not be sending big dragon hugs, big thanks, big love, big offer hugs, kisses, and tickles, because that's what I got first and foremost. Kisses, tickles, and hugs, and gratitude, thankful to the farmers of Quebec, La Belle Province, Canada, coast to coast, and North America, United States of America, Mexico, throughout the North American civilizational complex, since of course that is my theory as a geopolitical analyst and theorist and student scholar of history, war, civilization, that of course we, throughout North America, Quebec, La Belle Province, Quebecers, Canadians, North Americans, we constitute a collective North American civilization. And my theories, first and foremost, and everything that I do as an advocate, artist, athlete, geopolitical analyst, and theorist and philosopher, is first and foremost for this island, Montreal. Yes, I do gotta clean a little bit of my own room, office, and temple, which is small, too small for me to have open doors here. If anybody helps me with that place there, who's been left for more than 7 years, decrepit, desolate, and decaying in Westmount between 57 the Belvedere and 53 Belvedere, maybe we can Tango have open doors there to distribute the trillions of hugs and kisses that do have in store, credited with the condition to distribute those kisses and hugs and tickles to all my willingly allies and armies. You can say that I don't want any of your dragon tickles, dragon hugs, dragon kisses. Well, give me some rock and roll. You can work out tango, it takes two to tango. Rock and roll it, Rainbow Dragon is gonna rock and roll it for the farmers. Rainbow Dragon's gonna rock and roll it for the farmers and the truckers and the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and the grocery store clerks and those in the warehouses, in those steel toe boots, and the construction workers right across this North America. We got to those oceans. That is the Atlantic on the east, that is the Pacific on the west. And I'm not perfect, I don't even try to stress. I got issues and some vices. I'm a broken in the bank account, a broken in that red. But I got the millions and the billions that I hug. And I'm not perfect, they pointed at vices, cause the freedom it ain't easy, that's a double-edged sword. Who's gonna lift it? Hey, 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 not me alone, I admit it, blah, 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 tra, la, la. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks. My rent is paid in full for this March. It is March 2nd, and yours truly wish I could afford a massage therapy session, but cannot afford it at the moment in time. Hopefully, in the coming days, weeks, and months, we're going to have the Dragon Army North American Defense Security Service Force Integrated Citizen Integrated North American Service Security and strictly defense for the collective North American civilization and service and security, and of course emergency response, and such as the case was with Fiona is that devastated, of course, not only in my brothers and sisters down south in Florida, but came all the way north here in Canada, in the Atlantic, in the Maritimes, what we call the Maritimes province, the Atlantic, and of course the Labrador and the Newfoundland, and of course the on that east coast, Labrador, Atlantic, Maritimes, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and of course Prince Edward Island. So cheers for the reconstruction. We got my own self included. Gotta still clean my underground room, office, and temple. Small, literally underground room, office, and temple. But I'm grateful, thankful for the day as I carpe diem it every day. Do everything that I do as an independent artist, athlete, activist, triple A plus other dimensions, geopolitical analyst and theorist, philosopher, independent psychological analyst and theorist with my own psychological and sexual analysis and theories. And yes, I do watch a little bit of POR and adult movies, but I set a discipline that is only going to be during the Sabbath, and that rule regulation has worked for yours truly. If you're struggling with such matters of facts as whatever addictions, whatever struggles you have, I've been depressed and suicidal. I've conquered depression. I've conquered depression. I've conquered depression. Cannot stress enough. the importance to workout, train, exercise, since the body, my philosophy is that the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, and how to invest in it by working out, by training, and by exercising. By working out, training, and exercising is an investment in the body. By working out, by training, and by exercising. So workout, train, exercise. I encourage you all to do coast to coast, and have been and will continue to call for the mass financing of my brothers and sisters, citizens across the collective North American civilization. I call it a heart to the players and owners of the patriarchal. I'm going to say patriarchal since, although I'm a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, let's be honest, there's not even one women's sports leagues which makes even close economically, financially, commercially to what the aforementioned NFL National Football League, which I love. A little gridiron, you know, I love. I work out, train, exercise, do special dragon gridiron drills, but of course there's not even one close which makes even close the amount of monetary finance economics that the NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, and MLB make. Call it a heart to the owners and players of the aforementioned to please, please, please finance food security. Wall Street, it's 4:33 p.m. Wall Street, Wall Street, Wall Street. Even Wall Street gotta eat. So hopefully they bless the farmers each and every day so that they're doubled a little bit more or something good. As I'm asking, of course, the Wall Street and all multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires. And if you do make a million on the stock market today, Wall Street, please give 10%. 10% of a million is 100,000. You can divide it by 4, make it 25,000 for food security, 25,000 for LGBTQ youth issues. Food security first, and for environmental causes such as, of course, planting a tree for every tree that we cut down. That could work something. And for women's sports and LGBTQ causes, there you go. If you make a million, call it a heart to the multi-millionaires, owners, and players of the NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB. Please, please, please mass finance, food security, and of course donate for women's sports leagues and environmental causes and social housing. You don't need another house. You got 7 cars, 7 houses. It's time to finance and multi-millionaires, billionaires. If you have a million or more than a million, please mass finance food security, food security, food security. Myself, I'm financially struggling, but I got lots of kisses, lots of hugs, trillions of kisses credited with the condition, and those are the foundations. Those trillions of kisses credited from above, heaven, starlit heaven, the goddess. Yes, I do say goddess is a universal spiritual teaching student. GODDESS. I do not know at all spiritually. I'm a universal spiritual teaching student who's learning every day, who's got more questions perhaps than answers. I do have simple principles such as the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose, and that Mother Nature is divine, sacred, and that we have mysteries of spirituality and divinity and things that are sacred, holy. For me, sacred and holy is also bringing some pleasure and some purpose. And as I'm fundamentally calling all willing living east, west, north, south, first and foremost throughout the North American civilizational complex, first to move post COVID economic, social, financial, philosophical, and ethical system for pleasure and purpose. It takes two to tango, pleasure and purpose. They can work together, purpose to ensure and secure liberty, which freedom, although I have the FREEDOM right there, freedom tattooed, I admit, by myself, by my solo, the sword of freedom is too heavy to lift by myself. Tiny hands, tiny feet, tiny little androgynous scar clear dick. Now that we got that out of the way, we can dangle, philosophize a little bit, and can maybe lift the sword of freedom together and ensure freedom and liberty. And of course, as a pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist, address socio-economic inequality issues, which of course must be addressed. My brothers and sisters, if you're multi-millionaires, multi-billionaire, athletes, artists, please finance food security, mass finance food security, mass finance food security. Super important to finance food security at this moment in time, as of course food is holy, sacred, and divine. And I'm encouraging all to be mindful and grateful to the farmers, truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, all involved in the production and the distribution of food. Big dragon hugs. It wouldn't be if I would have a radio show. Sometimes I get to know, I listen, y'all really complain, do this, say some thank you, some gratitude, sending some love on the radio waves, on the television, to our farmers, butchers, bakers, truckers, nurses, because they need some loving. Or if they don't love you, come to Rainbow Dragon. I got hugs left to all my allies and armies, spread your legions. I can kiss, massage, we can rock and roll together, no problem. And ensure freedom. In a pro-labor, universal, revolutionary centrist. I'm not perfect. No need to spy on me. Ceases. I watched a little bit of pornography out of movies, and as a matter of fact, I admit that I wouldn't mind owning a LGBTQ-friendly, strictly strip club. There you go. You have it. I'm not without vices or faults or lust or hidden that. I don't gamble. I don't do this. I don't smoke. Only on occasion, very rare occasion, a little bit of cannabis, very rarely, rare, because of finance. Otherwise, I would be smoking on the Sabbath every Sabbath, but once in a while. Anyways, yours truly right here, grateful, thankful that my rent's paid, electricity bill is paid, and calling all and encouraging all to work out, to train, exercise. I've been on the fitness journey, still am, as an independent fitness captain. I'm really proud to have created the best, most efficient, simple workout training program, which is efficient, simple, and requires no equipment whatsoever. One I've created it back in October 2019, and since I've performed more than 350 workout training program sessions right here in this underground room, Austin Temple, lost more than 77 pounds down. I was got out of depression. I've conquered depression. Conquered depression, and I've encouraged all to work out, to train, exercise. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice. And my workout training program that I'm advocating for the implementation across the collective North American civilization throughout universities, high schools, and even, I guess, as young as maybe 7-year-olds. It can be done by, because it's simple: push-ups, hog squats, and it requires no equipment. And of course, it's fundamentally what it does. My workout training program, it increases general overall fitness. It increases general overall fitness. It is simple, effective, and efficient, and requires no equipment. That is the beauty, fundamentally the beauty of my workout training program system, that it requires no equipment. Paradoxically, the paradox of this is that when I've created it as an independent fitness captain, as a theorist, a philosopher, a geopolitical analyst, and theorist, when I've created and made and designed it, paradoxically, as a world peace advocate, hand in hand as being an independent geopolitical analyst and theorist, back in October 2019, when I've created it, concocted, designed it to go specifically with an World War III scenario. Paradoxically, you heard that right, and got, of course, hundreds of workout training programs which, of course, have performed online in the past years and during COVID. And I'm triple vaccinated. Encourage all the, please get your vaccine if you haven't done it yet. It's still time. And super important, increase in hygiene in public. Right now, I'm in my underground room off St. Temple. Yes, I can turn everything off because I share myself with the public. I enter the internet as there's private and public parts of the internet: dark net, dark web, private servers, corporate servers, public security, CSIS servers, RCMP servers. Hey, Mr. Officer Smith of the RCMP, it's not the time for POR. For POR right now. Later when you get back home and you're in your private quarters. Because I'm in my private, I share with the public, right? I'm in my private. When I step outside, I'm Citizen Dragon, Rainbow Dragon rock and roll. But when I step outside, I'm no longer just a private citizen. Right here, I can turn everything off, shut off the lights, and I'm going to say a shout out. Thank you, big dragon hugs to the workers of Hydro Quebec, who since 1944 till today we're about to open the 64th dam in La Romaine, number 4, on the La Romaine River that way, a few hundred kilometers, miles that way, who with brains and muscle built 63 dams across this La Belle Province, where we are 9 million now, right? Quebecers here in Quebec, La Belle Province, in Canada, in my state, province of Quebec in North America, the North American civilizational complex. And Hydro Quebec, thanks to Hydro Quebec works of the past, I have this light. Yesterday I paid my bill. Not gonna say how much I paid. It's another story, but it was reasonable for the amount of dollars. It hasn't increased much, but of course I got that privilege. This is a privilege in many ways. The asphalt, the highways, the railways, all the things of civilization is in many ways privilege. As I presented my thesis and will continue to develop it and discuss it in the coming days, weeks, and months, my thesis began 2023. The Coffee with Dragon, presenting my thesis titled "The Privilege of Civilization." The privilege of civilization. We have a privilege of civilization. Multi-millionaire athletes, go Habs go, please give for food security, blah 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 blah. And of course the multi-millionaires have it, the multi-billionaire CEOs, and financially struggling artists like myself. When I go take a bus, go take the subway, if I go by the metro system, right, underground, or the bus transit even, it's a privilege of civilization. If I would have a car, I'm driving steel toe boots for world peace, but if I would have a car, I could have that privilege of civilization to take the car, go to the highways, and cross into the United States and go all the way to Mexico City. I would have to stop about 2 nights, right? But I could get there. I could get to Mexico City thanks to that privilege of civilization. So from the Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Biden, to President Biden or Justin Trudeau, to financially struggling artists, athletes like myself, geopoliticians, philosophers like myself, XYZ factors. We all have the privilege of civilization, and we utilize the combination of different privileges of that civilization at any given point in time. Still has his discontents. Not 100% Freudian, but I'm a third Freudian, a third Jungian, a third Crowleyan, and I add a fourth dimension with my own psychological analysis and theories, which I've shared in the past and will continue to do in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead in a rock and roll style dragon. So, my brothers and sisters, I encourage all to work out, train, exercise. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. Cannot stress it enough. I have been in the past, am today, and will tomorrow. Call for a public-private partnership, the Dragon Army, to mass finance citizens across the North American civilizational collective to work out, to train, and to exercise, because the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose and wellness. I've healed much. I've struggled. I've suffered. I'm open for business. Triple vaccinated, open for business. Commission, sponsor, support, any way, shape, capacity, or form. Pledge your allegiance, legions, thou art family. I said, pledge your allegiance, legions, thou art family. Pledge your allegiance, legions, thou art family. To support my dream manifesting as the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, as yours truly philosopher is Rainbow Dragon. Thank you, farmers, again. All the work now. Let's do a meditation on the truckers. How many truckers now going east, west, north, south just in Montreal? If I go on my marches, I usually see a few dozens. Thank you for all that transport, all the grain, all the fruits, all the vegetables that are being transported now. As I'm calling all to increasing public hygiene. My brothers and sisters, I have been upset personally. I don't want to go back to anything pre-COVID. It's we have that tendency to remember the past and be, but as today, carpe diem, and hopefully for a hope for tomorrow. The past is. I have more memories, paradoxically, of past lives, past incarnations. I was born right here on this island, Montreal, in a past life. Helped Louis Cyr, the strong Quebecer, push some horses on a cart. As one memory of a past life. Paradoxically, remember more past lives and incarnations. And mostly the past years or so, especially during COVID, and my work, my analysis, my self-education, and of course my continuing education is, of course, on my own miracle healing and healing, and I wish upon all my allies and armies. And it's important to increase in hygiene in public, to try to maintain public hygiene, to try to not go back to certain old habits or old tendencies or all that we have. And change sometimes it comes with pain, suffering, right? Look at LGBTQ liberation. For me, it's not the case because I've been open LGBTQ for many years now, so it's not the case for me. But there's still people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s even, who are in the closet, right? Who are not openly LGBT, especially my brothers in the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Carl Nassib is not the only one who is part of the LGBTQ community. Paradoxically, only one came out in the open LGBTQ. There are many. When my Habs play, there's one on each team. I have no doubt. Even statistics would prove it that there should be at least one or two on each team, sports team, of all the sports leagues. That is another matter. Personally, I understand economics, finance, commerce. I've lost economic, financial, commercial opportunity. I've been a piece of shit to a lot of people. I get moody, I get upset. I'm not perfect. Far from it. I admit I got toxicity. Still admit I deal with. I work out, train, exercise, hygiene, and stuff like that. It's hard to admit certain things myself. I admit that some things I am mediocre. Some things I am average. Some things I am so-so. I'm great, super, and excellent. Working out, training, and exercising, the best independent athlete. Multi-millionaire athletes try to do my workout. You see my workouts, we go overtime every time. And, of course, geopolitical analysis and theory. Examine dimensions of cultural, civilizational, geopolitical trends and events from a micro, macro level and put them together, the pieces that I'm great, super, and excellent at geopolitical analysis and theory. As a fact, back in 2019, I've sounded the alarm then. I've sounded the alarm. I've said humanity. Back in 2019, I'm referring to my creation of my workout training program system, known officially as the General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, aka the 300 workout, which is efficient, simple, and effective. Paradoxically, when I've created it myself as an independent fitness captain and myself as a geopolitical analyst and theorist. And back then in October, I've sounded the alarm. I've said, humanity, mankind, again, we are on a path towards an international conflagration, aka World War III. So made, created, and designed and produced the workout training program to go with such an event. Paradoxically, I saw the trends back then. I've seen, oh, and major trends, major events, geopolitical events which I've taken into consideration was the U.S.-China trade war began by Trump administration in March 2018. Another event was the arrest, detention of Meng Wanzhou, aka Kathy Meng, by the RCMP in order to honor an extradition treaty with the United States based on civil charges, and the consequent arrest of the two Michaels, Michael Spavor, Michael Kovrig, by the authorities in China. So those were two main events. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis, which has since turned into a war, right? As the moment is speaking, I'm calling for an immediate ceasefire and the solutions and ceasefire, my brothers and sisters. We gotta learn to channel the aggression. I admit I have aggression in myself. As I'm moody, but channel and sublimate. Two key words of my philosophies. Super important to channel and sublimate the aggression. Push-ups. One of the mottos of the Dragon Army is Dragon Army. We channel, sublimate the aggression with push-ups and hugs. How do we channel the aggression? With push-ups and with hugs. How do we channel the aggression? With push-ups and with hugs. Right? I know tendencies to look for all systems. We gotta break the impasse. It's hard sometimes, my own self included. I check my social media interactions, my interactions when I go marching on the daily. It's super important to channel and sublimate. If we are to break the impasse and be healthier, more joyous, joy is super important. Have joy, some purpose, to attain harmony between civilization and nature, purpose. And I go on marches. I've been going on marches for years. I've said in a funny comedic way, but in a truthful way as well, that yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, has marched more than the generals of NATO combined during COVID. Generals of NATO, not only NORAD, but generals of NATO combined in steel-toe boots during COVID. What I love is I love seeing people hugging, kissing. I love seeing that when I go. I say, yes. Now give me hope. When I see young, especially young couples, young adolescents kissing, hugging, or even older senior citizens hugging, kissing. I love seeing that. I go on the marches. Increasing that with consent, of course, consent, but obviously it's with consent, right? I love seeing that. It gives me hope. Otherwise, what are we fighting to save civilization for? The stock market, Wall Street. Buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts, bonds, buy, sell, trade, future market stocks, puts, buy, sell, trade, stocks, market, all that monkey business. I know a little bit about it, a little bit about nothing. I'm a piece of dust. Lusting, getting moody in dust nonetheless, with my own, my own moodiness, my own lusts, my own little quirkiness, not being perfect, far from it, rainbow rock and roll it, but I am for the greater good, while at the same time I admit I do want to perhaps get something bigger, to have open houses, to hug more, to dance more, to work out better because I need bigger space when I dance. I'm the world's greatest dancer, and perhaps to box, challenging Tyson Fury, Donald Trump, and then whoever wants to fight this rainbow androgynous pansexual rainbow dragon, because I fight my own battles. And fight my own battles. If I've offended, we can freestyle battle rap, put on boxing gloves, or dance battle, freestyle dance battle, whatever the case may be, and or whatever it is, in intellectual, sophisticated manner. I have part of that as well as a student scholar of history, worship of civilization at this moment. March 2nd, with solutions we gotta focus for Montreal, Quebec, La Belle Province, the collective North American civilization, aka the North American civilizational complex. And I am a world peace advocate, but now it seems that many of my scenario, my analysis, which I have made in 2019 in October, has proven to be correct in multiple dimensions, and thus that's what during COVID, so I've seen, hey, my geopolitical analysis has been proven correct in many ways. I also have the solutions, and I'm advocating for the implementation of my solutions known as my Trinity of theories to be implemented via the fourth dimension, and that fourth dimension is love, because it doesn't come from love, and love is also action. I don't really want to do much and nothing about it. We can have business, whatever, but it has to be come from love, and love is action. If we are to address certain issues of racism or whatever it is, to my brothers and sisters who are black or white or Asian or brown or whatever. I believe in the human race, but I understand we have cultural and appearances that we have also subconscious dimensions, which we have subconscious biases, subconscious fears, subconscious lust, subconscious elements of ourselves. But if I can do justice or if anything is good, kisses. So I offer kisses and hugs to all willingly loving, to be allies and armies. That's not a problem. It's not anything or other factors and determinant. And as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist who wants, of course, and wills to to be healed and reborn myself, and so I'm being reborn during this COVID, and with every step, every Coffee with Dragon session, every rock song that I write, every poem that I do, every march, every step, every dance move that I bust as I'm being reborn. Adrian Hanna, Dragon, androgynous, pansexual founder of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, and I'm laying that is my dream, manifesting for the rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation, the ensuring of liberty, prosperity, and of course the joy, joy, joy of the collective North American civilizations and the inhabitants and the city citizens thereof, and to that was for world peace as well. So we gotta move to for world peace, but it seems that many of my geopolitical analysis has proven correct in many dimensions, circular multiple dimensions. As I'm here on this beautiful island, Montreal, aka Hawk Island, and I'm a Quebecer. I love French. I write poetry in French, rock and roll in French, philosophy in French, and don't remember much about youth, adolescence, early adulthood. I remember many more during COVID and during the past 7 years and a little bit in 8, 9, 10 years. And I've struggled, suffered, been depressed and suicidal. I've conquered depression. I've written tens of thousands of pages of philosophy, art, poetry, which I've been sharing in the past days, weeks, and months, especially during COVID online. Much of my philosophies, my poetry, my songs, my art, my ideas for cinema, television, and what have you as an independent creative artist and artist athlete who's financially struggling at the moment but grateful that rent is paid my rent March 1st. First thing I did was pay my rent, pay my electricity bill, and got food. Got lettuce, saw lettuce, romaine lettuce, half price. It was from $6 to $3 for three big ones. So I said, I have romaine lettuce. I got bread. I could make myself sandwiches. And then the cheese was half price. I got cheese and romaine lettuce, some bread I had from the donation. Thank you for the food security. So I could make myself sandwiches. So grateful, thankful for the food, and I got some store, a little bit of food, of course, if for eventually if I run out of the bread, and when I will run out of the bread, of the leftovers of the romaine lettuce and of the cheese, which could be by Monday. I do have noodles, and I do have some pasta, and I do have some leftovers, so I should be good until Monday. I got some peanuts left over. Food security is super important. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, and of course, we got supply chains across the collective North American civilization. At the micro level, myself as a citizen, again, please, please, please increase in hygiene in public. Cannot stress enough. I seen, COVID is less and less COVID, and you know, take it. See, gonna do a little bit of demonstration. Open it, a little bit. See, put a little bit on the fingers. A little gel, rub, disinfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we have disinfected because there's microbes, bacteria, and germs. There are these things: bacteria, microbes, and germs. Now, on COVID, this is the topic of discussion, my survival. 3 years since I've had COVID. I had it three times: 2020, 2021, and 2022 last year. Three times, and I'm triple vaccinated. This is my trinity on COVID. Has been, is, and will continue to be my trinity on COVID. First and foremost, I do not know for sure what caused COVID, or I could be simply saying that first, I believe it was snakes. Snakes are human beings transmitted. In other words, what's called zoonotic. Zoonotic. Zoonotic is the terminology, zoonotic transmission. Basically, it means, in other words, that of course it is transmitted from an animal to human being. It can be a bat, it could be pig, pork, fowl, whatever the case may be. Zoonotic. I believe it was snakes. I don't know for sure. So thus, since I believe it was snakes, but I don't know for sure, or vice versa, I don't know for sure, but I believe it was snakes. Third possibility, I cannot rule out another possibility to my belief that it was transmitted from snakes to human beings. There's a fourth dimension to that trinity, and that is what I do know 100% without any doubt, is that about 93 days or so before COVID, in October 2019, as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, and as an independent fitness captain, have looked at the situation, the global political situation, the geopolitical situation, the events such as the aforementioned US China trade war, which began by the Trump administration with the imposition of tariffs on the goods imported from China. It started in 2018, March 2018, so we're about to go on to 5 years since the US the ongoing, which has deteriorated and has escalated further since the beginning of the US-China trade war in March 2018. So we're celebrating about 5 years, 2019, 2020, 2023 now. So the ongoing trade war, right, and have also taken into consideration as part of my analysis, geopolitical analysis, the Meng Wanzhou situation and the Two Michael situation, and other historical events such as Pearl Harbor and the ongoing Islamic State terrorism situation and other geopolitical factors around the world. But those were the major ones, the main ones. And I said, humanity, this has set us again on a course towards an international conflagration. In other words, a World War III. So made, created, and produced and designed this workout training program, which I am proud to have created, have been and advocating for supporters. I'm looking for building out the Dragon workout training app and workout Dragon app, and to encourage citizens as a public-private partnership with all corporations, institutions, and organizations to, of course, to implement it, because it's my medicine and therapy of choice. Working out, training, and exercising. Cannot stress it enough. High school, you feel so much better. Sometimes it takes a long time. It took me a while to lose 77 pounds. It's takes some time, but I always feel better when I work out. My first 5-10 minutes might be hard, but then get the sweat and I feel good. On the marches, after half an hour, man, I feel so good now. it's and sometimes we need just support, encouragement. I encourage all workout, train, exercise regularly. Try to do my workout training program. Simple, effective, and efficient. Calling on a private-public partnership, corporations, institutions, and organizations for the NFL, NHL, and NBA, MLB, the four major sports leagues, and multi-billionaires in public-private partnership with the governments and organizations and institutions across the collective North American civilization to mass finance citizens to work out, train, exercise. I'm calling on my astrological brother Bill Gates with Microsoft, partnership with Facebook. As I utilize Facebook to work out, to train, and to exercise, to put hundreds of videos on YouTube of me working out, training, and exercising with the quality of what the video that I've been working with that I have, the tools that I have, the tools that I have, the tools that I have. And this body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Cannot stress enough the importance to work out, train, exercise. It can be miraculous, like a medicine and therapy for me. It is, has been, and will be. I believe it can be for many. Sometimes encouragement, incentivizing can be that next step in our collective North American civilization for the healing, regeneration, and breaking the impasses which we face from the micro and the macro perspective. To have programs, public-private partnership fundamentally. My call, manifesting as the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, and yours truly, Adrian Hannah Dragon, androgynous pansexual founder thereof, who's founding the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom with, first and foremost, 718 trillions of kisses. Kisses got trillion. I'm a kiss trillionaire. Financially struggling, $10,000 in debt, but it is March 2nd, only the second day of March. My rent's paid, electricity bill is paid, and I've got food to work out, train, exercise. So I'm grateful, thankful for that. First and foremost, trillions of kisses, billions of hugs, some tickles, some rock and roll, some brains, and some muscle. While I am mediocre, I admit it, at the average, I admit it, and so at some other things. I'm super and excellent and great at geopolitical analysis. Much of it has been proven correct. Thus, I also believe in the implementation of my trinity of theories, known as the DRT, debt fusion theory, the CIT, citizen integration theory, and the democratic fusion theory, a trinity of theories to be implemented via the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is love. Love is also action, right? That's why I love when I see people loving themselves, loving others, hugging. I go on the marches, I see people giving, yes. My main message, as has been, is and will be, all the philosophical, the artistic, the 1/7 comedian, whatever I say, is this. With consent, hug like you never hugged before if you watch Rainbow Dragons, Coffee with Dragon videos or whatever videos. You don't have to look at me. You have to. You can hug while you listen. You can just hug and listen. I can listen. Thank the farmers, thank the butchers, thank the bakers, thank the cooks, thank the nurses, thank the firefighters, thank the public security workers, thank the ambulance driver, thank the truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, the farmers, the bakers, the bakers who bake my bread, your bread. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Big dragon hugs. Farmers, bakers, butchers, bakers, farmers, truckers, all involved building seven. I'm gonna bless Hydro Quebec workers of the past, present, and future, because it takes some of the past knowledge and XYZ knowledge and know how to maintain civilization and to upgrade. For me, upgrading civilization is now is addressing economic, financial, commercial problems and whatever food security, and of course issues, and to secure the North American civilizational complex. North Americans unite, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and of course to work out, train, exercise, and to have some joy, and to ensure secure liberty, and to this more privilege of this civilization, the electricity above my head, the electricity that I'm utilizing with my laptop, which I plugged in earlier, and it's clean zero pollution energy that's renewable that I'm utilizing with my smartphone on YouTube, and of course that I go online and that I brewed my coffee. This coffee is hot thanks to those workers of Hydro Quebec in the past, present and future, who built those 63 dams across this La Belle province. 63 dams, right? Citizen integration theory to have the Dragon Army public-private partnership, the North American citizen integrated public-private partnership, strictly and only for defense, security, service, and for emergency response for whatever emergencies is for the North American civilizational complex, aka the collective North American civilization. And of course, I bless Hydro Quebec workers from today to tomorrow in the coming 7 years. Big dragon hugs to build seven more dams. To build seven more dams in the next 7 years, build seven more dams in the 7 years. If I would have a radio, Rainbow Dragon radio, television, it would be an hour where I would not thank the farmers, butchers, bakers. It would not be. If I'd be on television, on radio, oh, shut them all off. Turn it off. After an hour, you don't hear them say, "Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers." Turn it off, man. Ah. If in an hour you don't hear the radio personality or television show within an hour with a news channel on the news on the radio, if they didn't say within an hour, okay, give them an hour and a half, a movie length, 93 minutes. Let's make it 93 minutes, 93 minutes, 93 minutes, because that's part of my workout, which is required the total amount allocated with my workout. So make it 93 minutes. If I'm doing 93 minutes, if during 93 minutes you didn't hear the radio host or the television news broadcaster, whatever it is, whoever listens to it, or whatever it is, channel on radio, if they haven't thanked the farmers or the butchers or the truckers or all the farmers, butchers, bakers, doctors, nurses, grocery store clerks, cooks. Thank you, cooks. Dragon's gonna thank the cooks, butchers, farmers. With some rock and roll, I'm gonna thank the farmers and the butchers and the cooks. Gonna give some lyrics for the butchers and the bakers and the truckers and the farmers throughout all this North America, for that ocean to that ocean, that Atlantic and the Pacific. Who's growing that potatoes and those carrots and those peas? And that romaine lettuce, which I'm about to eat. And that romaine lettuce, which I'm about to eat. And that romaine lettuce, which I'm about to eat. And that bread, thank you, bakers. If you don't hear that within 93 minutes, shut it down. Turn it off. Can rap, rock and roll, and rap. You want a little bit of rap for the farmers? Yeah, give it up for those truckers. For those farmers, for those butchers, yeah. Shake your head a little bit for those farmers and those butchers and those truckers and those nurses and those doctors. Yep, with the firefighters. Yep, with those cooks. Everybody gotta eat, even Wall Street. Whether we wear tight jeans on that loose leaf, yeah. Whether you smoking on that cannabis, when you get that munchie, yeah, you gotta eat. Whether those chips, those potatoes, and those fries, yeah. Yeah, you got $7 million chain, but you gotta eat, yeah. That's for that worker paradise, yeah. Oh man. Wall Street. It's 5:07 Wall Street. Finished about 44 minutes ago. 44 minutes or so ago. Wall Street closed in New York. Wall Street. Please, Mr. Fink of Black Rock. Mr. Fink of Black Rock or others financial institutions. Please give for food security and bless the farmers. Give them some tickets to go see some football games, some NHL football season's over. NHL, some basketball, some whatever. Give them some XYZ, some LOV. Cause oh, you also gotta eat. So that is my call as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist for the Global Dragon Union, and of course for public-private partnerships. Fundamentally, my theories, my philosophies are a public and a private partnership. Of course, for the creation of the UE, but first, of course, you got to have debt refusion theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory, the DRT, the debt refusion theory. The DRT stands for debt refusion theory has to come first, and that's my call for that implementation of the DRT. So what the DRT is, of course, is taking all private and public debt, my debt, including as a private citizen, who is now in the private sharing with the public philosophies and theories and a little bit of rock and roll rap and maybe a 7% or 1/7 comedy, which is okay. You can laugh. I laugh at myself sometimes. And humor is important. Comedy to secure liberty and freedom, and if we are to attain more harmony between us as North Americans, because I consider myself a Quebecer Canadian North American, and yes, I'm a world citizen for world peace, but where we're headed, the trend, and where we have been headed for a few years now towards an international conflagration, as my analysis concluded back in October 2019, and it seems today even more gravity with solutions we gotta focus and I hope for the best. I do every day what I do meditate, philosophize, work out, train, exercise, and of course, not only blah blah blah, but I put those steps in steel toe boots and march for different causes, different parts of our collective North American civilization, of which we all have different privileges at different times, such as using this electricity now and this internet connecting with the putting in them the public sphere. If I will, I could turn everything off and remaining my private office, but room off Sun Temple, which is this small space which also served as a gymnasium in the past years. But when I step outside of this private dragon's lair, I'm also public. So there's an added dimension with added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, which is the public domain and the public sphere. When I step outside, right now, I'm sharing with the public on the internet with the servers of Facebook in California. One hacker drive, one hacker drive where you at. Calling on my brother, astrological brother Mark Zuckerberg, and all IT workers to support this dream manifesting as the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. I'm philosopher, poet, geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent fitness captain, athlete, artist, activist, world peace advocate, universal spiritual teaching student, because I don't know it all. I can be non-dogmatic, non-sectarian as a pro-labor universal revolutionary centrist, be non-dogmatic and non-sectarian. And I'm based on those principles. And I do firmly believe in the implementation of my Trinity of theories, the CIT, citizen integration theory, the DRT, debt refusion theory, and the DFT, the democratic fusion theory, via LOV, via love. And love is the fourth dimension to that Trinity. Sure, I get moody, get upset, I've been depressed, been suicidal. I've conquered depression, conquered depression. Adopting that this body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Sure, I get moody, and I have gotten moody in the past years. There's I've lost economic, financial, commercial opportunity, continuation of contract, blah blah blah. Being LGBTQ, as being LGBTQ, you still deal with certain things, certain elements, whatever it is. That was just struggle for equality and for justice, for freedom, still continues. It's even in North America for those who are part of the LGBTQ community for ourselves. We come a long way, come a long way. We're gonna come a long way more even when we have the first players in the NHL come out tonight before the game or after the game. There's gonna be three. Yes, Dragon, you're right, man. I get 7 million annual contract. I might lose it if I come out, but I already got 7 houses, 7 cars, and I've been hiding that I'm homosexual, bisexual for the past 7 years in the NHL. And I heard your video. Somebody has sent me, and I heard your words somehow, and I'm gonna come out. You're right. It's not easy when you have economic, financial, commercial pressures, liberty, freedom. Ooh, it's been testy times, testy, testy, man. Pressure, hardcore, hardcore, hardcore can be. And I've been depressed, suicidal to admit certain things and sexuality, right? It's part of me. Sure, I watch some adult porn movie. No, no need to spy on me. CSIS, RCMP, whatever it is. My protocols for public security are well known. The creation of the public-private partnership to be for defense only and solely for security and service. Security and service, they got to tango in the 21st century and where we are now with geopolitical and as a societal, we have to have more cohesion to have services. Services with consent and with hygiene. Whatever services is cooking, cleaning, massaging, as the Dragon Army Public-Private Partnership of North America, defense, security, and service, and response for emergency situation. To, for example, a service can be to offer or be able to give a trucker a massage because he cannot afford it, too expensive. He's not going to pay $156 for an hour of massage. $156 for an hour massage. 156. Be some service. Public-private partnership. Dragon Army. Need to drive 13 hours. Gonna stop after 6.5 or 7. And then drive 6 hours more, or vice versa. Drive 6, stop for 7, or after 7, stop for 6. Because 6 plus 7 is 13. So if he's got to drive 13 hours with 93 tons of goods, or whatever, 11 tons. A ton is 1,000 kilos. So whatever you're driving the truck with, the potatoes, milk, or grain. Now, thank you, truckers were going east, west, north, south by the hundreds, by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, maybe from Mexico, Canada, US, Mexico, Canada, United States, Mexico, Canada, vice versa, throughout the North American civilizational collective, right? There's many, right? And you got all that supply chains with the supermarkets, the systems which have evolved since 1984, 1984 or so, and the increasing in the trucking and supply chains and the integration of North America started before that, at the end of the Second World War with the highways and what have you. But of course, we have this this fact, and maybe they could need a neck rub or a half an hour massage with them so good they will even drive better and safer. So have a point of service somewhere across North America, Dragon units, Dragon Army, public-private partnership, be able to offer, say that with the 1-800 number, 1-800 Dragon Army, 1-800 Dragon Army, 1-800 Dragon Army, and application Dragon Army. Can I get, of course, with principles and accounting, so that there's no abuse. You don't ask 3 massages a day. If you ask for one. If you're driving XYZ, whatever it is, farmer, butcher, nurses, doctors for different services, or help with the children. The children are driving these are examples of potential services from the Dragon Army public-private partnership that I'm calling the creation thereof, to help with the children. Right there, they need to run a little bit. They're driving the parents crazy. It's 5 p.m. They need 2 hours to cook dinner. The mother's going crazy. The parents are going crazy. Can you take my children for half an hour? Do some push-ups, do some sports, go jogging a little bit or whatever it is. Yes, Dragon units, east, west, north, south. We got it. Services, help with whatever it is. Help with carrying some groceries for senior citizens up to the 11th, 7th floor, 13th floor of a multiplex big residential building. These are sample of services for the 21st century. Be able to respond. Public-private partnership, that is the call. Based on my philosophies and my theories, that is my call for the creation of these two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions for the 21st century. That I have been calling and will call, and I'm calling now on this 2nd of March on all to support in whatever shape, capacity, shape, or form you can, by spreading the word, by whatever you can do, by the philosophy, by the art, by whatever means, blah 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 blah. Because brains and muscle has been, is, and will be required for us to maintain, build, and upgrade civilization. I got some rock and roll with that. There's now gonna be a dragon video or a dragon if I be on the radio, on the television, where I wouldn't say thank you, sending big dragon hugs to the farmers, truckers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, firefighters, IT workers, electricians, plumbers. Citizen integration theory across North America to learn how all the things of the collective North American civilization are done and made. That is citizen integration theory via the two complementary institutions, public-private partnership institutions that I'm calling the creation and the institution thereof, across the North American civilizational complex, to be solely and only, as I've said, for defense, security and service and emergency response for the North American civilizational complex or the collective North American civilization. So that is my call. Far from being perfect, I don't play the self-righteous card, self-righteous. Like I said before, I watch a little bit of PORN. But I've set a discipline only on the Sabbath of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream and foundation that I'm founding with 718 trillions of kisses, is from midnight Friday till about Sunday, 7, 8 p.m. So about 44 hours, the Sabbath, for rest, rejuvenation, pleasure, of all my willing living allies and armies who are family, consider my family. As yours truly, Adrian Dragon is the androgynous pansexual founder of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. I've laid those foundation right on this Montreal, Hawk Island, and Mount Royal, the headquarters of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom is on Mount Royal, where I can offer the kisses, the hugs, dancing, working out, training, and exercising, some brains and some muscle, right? As a universal spiritual teaching student, I'm calling for if I want to build something, and I'm calling for the building of the Forgotten Goddess Temple. The building for Forgotten Goddess Temple. I have the rituals and the protocols for conduct in that temple with consent, mutual understanding and love, free hugging, free kissing, free tickling, free dancing, and sunrise, sunset, midnight, full moon, half moon, new moon, rituals and thanking of the farmers and the blessing of the harvests, seasonal harvests for North America. That is as a world peace and beyond. But I want to build the temple of the Forgotten Goddess Temple. If I want to build a temple, a house, a temple, a place of spirituality, that's the name that I want for the temple. Forgotten Goddess Temple. 3 words. Forgotten Goddess Temple. But the Forgotten Goddess still dances with her brother the sun to make and create and produce all fruits, vegetables, and legumes that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to make, upgrade, and maintain civilization. Right now the sun is rising and setting and it's 5:19 p.m. here. We subtract 3 hours to go all the way to British Columbia, Vancouver, and all the way, of course, to California. California, right? It's minus 3 hours, so it's 2:19 on the west coast, Canada. In Vancouver, British Columbia, maybe it's sunny. Seattle, Washington State, and of course San Francisco, California. It is 2:19 now. 2:19. It's 2:19 now. And of course the sun is shining there, right? It's about to set now here, but it's snowing a bit. I did a little bit of snow shoveling today, so it's still a little bit of a ongoing snowstorm. It stopped for a day. It started again last night or so, this early this morning. So it's on and off on the 2nd of March. So if I want to build something, it will be the Forgotten Goddess Temple, which I've discussed and will continue to discuss and call for support in the coming days, weeks, and months ahead. As right to the Mount Royal, where the headquarters of the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom is, and the Phoenix People's Party, the North American Party for Regeneration, Rejuvenation, Assurance of Liberty and Freedom, and the Pro-Labor and Love, Universal Revolutionary Centrist Party, meaning that my universal revolutionary centrism is tied in with my Trinity of theories, the CIT, citizen integration theory, the DRT, Death Fusion theory, and the democratic fusion theory, to be implemented by the aforementioned love, LOV, with consent. Hug like you never hugged before is the main message. That's the main message. Today, I never hugged for 20 minutes. How much is a period of hockey? Hockey, NHL, millions, owners, players. Money, right? Hug for 20 minutes. Get yourselves a good hug. So I could use a good hug now. I only get orders from a child, so that is the main message. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors. Survived COVID back in 2020, February, end of January 2020 until about mid-February or so, was very ill as disease. It was like death, pestilence, and disease. It was that I was gonna die. In many ways, I did die. Personally, I don't want to go back to nothing like pre-COVID and XYZ. I spent years, don't remember much adulthood, childhood, only what I have from writings, from my USB keys that I've written. And spent many years in libraries reading, learning, writing, and still learning every day. And in a parallel life, I'm a super scientist. In a parallel life, I'm a super scientist. In a parallel life, I'm a super scientist where satellites, supercomputers, ICBM rockets, microchips is my chosen path in this life. Philosophy, poetry, art, geopolitical analysis and theory, independent psychological analysis and theorist. I'm an independent psychological analyst and theorist. The people's doctor prescribes some good push-ups, some good baths, some long walks, half an hour in nature. As a people's doctor who has healed and is healing now as I'm drinking this cup of coffee, for which I'm grateful to have. Thank you, farmers who harvested this black coffee bean, which comes from a red berry, which was also made, created, and produced as all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the legumes, all the grains are made, created, and produced by that dance of the goddess with her brother sun. Goddess is Mother Nature with the black fertile earth and the water and the rays, the sun rays, which of course illuminate and penetrate the earth, and of course which make that fruits, all the bananas, oranges, all of it grow by that dance. And that is the motto of the Dancing Goddess Army. And of course, that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest for us to make, upgrade, and maintain civilization. So thank you, farmers, for harvesting their fruits. As for the forgotten goddess, well, I'm a piece of dust, and the sun is my pope. And I don't know it all spiritually. I have questions. There's mysteries, right? Supposedly, I heard this morning on the radio that some chamber was discovered in one of the Great Pyramids, three pyramids of this pyramid complex. I was there in many past lives in ancient Egypt. I was in ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt, ancient Rome. I was even born here before colonization began in 1492. In North America, Central America, South America, more than 700 years ago, before Columbus even set foot on in what was it, in Hispaniola, and historically, and of course, there was born in many past lives, many incarnations, but right here, right now, hoping for today and hoping for future, for a resolution, breaking of impasses, and hoping and calling for the implementation of my Trinity of theories, a public-private partnership, calling all willingly loving to support in every way, shape, capacity, or form, right from this Montreal metropolis, island Hawkeye, which has been my home for many years, and even in a past life. And I've spent many years suffered, struggled, been depressed and suicidal. As I've said, I've conquered depression, conquered depression. I cannot stress again enough the importance of working out, training, and exercising regularly, regular physical activity, and of course the importance to be to admit certain things. Like I admitted some things I'm mediocre, I admitted some things I'm average, I admitted some things I'm so. Well, I'm also great, super, and excellence, and some other things. I got some perhaps weird sexual fantasies. I like BDSM switch and what have you. BDSM switch was part of us. Is part of us. I don't. It's about sublimating and channeling. So if you cannot fulfill, satisfy, you gotta sublimate and channel, just like aggression. I admit I have some aggression. I channel and sublimate. Do push-ups, hog squats, do workout, train, exercise. It's part of us. To more or less different degrees, we can get triggered, right? Offended, myself included. These are part of our subconscious fears and elements which we have subconscious. So many things are subconscious that move us in different ways that we irrationality, the irrational world exists. The emotional, the feelings, the irrational, we gotta tango together with the rational and the doing and the being and the being and the doing and the philosophy and the brains with the muscle and the muscle and the brains and the brains and the muscle and the physicality, the body and the spirit, right? Civilization and nature. We can attain a certain harmony, equilibrium, and balance, myself included. I try to do it every day. Believe in a resolution, breaking impasses by, of course, 21st century at least for the North American civilizational complex, aka the collective North American civilization, that my Trinity of theories are best at this point in time. CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, Network Fusion Theory, and Democratic Fusion Theory, to be implemented via the fourth dimension. And that fourth dimension is LOV. Love, love, love. Love is also action, not just blah, blah, blah. To go on certain principles. I had COVID back in end of January 2020 until about mid February. I started feeling better, but for many days I was really sick, 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 sick. It was before it was in the news. I thought I was gonna die, and in many ways I did die. Adrian H. Dragon being reborn, Adrian Hana Dragon, androgynous pansexual founder of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Which I'm laying the foundation with those kisses, trillions of kisses. Some push-ups, some brains, some marching steps, some dancing, some rock and roll, some philosophy, and the theory with it. But the paradox is that before COVID, 93 days or so, when I began the general one integrated total body training system, the first session that I did of my workout training program was October 17, 2019. And since I've done more than 350 more accounted in my room office and temple, because I've done other ones with marching and more in nature that were not recorded or quantified as such being part. But officially 29th of September 2022 last year, I did my 300th session. And that's when officially I turned the A of my surname into an O. Dragon became Dragon, Dragon became Dragon. So my workout training program system was made and created and designed to go hand in hand with a scenario, the aforementioned scenario, which I said back then in 2019, October. As a world peace advocate, paradoxically, who had come to the conclusion, I said, humanity, the trend is again towards another international conflagration. And so made and created and designed the General War Integrated Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army, designed, made and created to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You heard that correct. Back then, I've sounded the alarm. Said these trends, all these geopolitical events of which I've aforementioned and I will mention again, the major geopolitical events which I've taken into consideration was the US-China trade war, the arrest of Meng Wanzai, Kathameng, the ongoing Islamic State terrorism, and other historical events such as Pearl Harbor. So I said, oh, we are again on that path, it seems. I've concluded. After an analysis, I started about the analysis for a few weeks and months, and then by in October, I concluded. And then after a few days, after my conclusion, I was thinking what would be such a scenario would be, because I concluded that we are on that path of an international conflagration back in October 2019 due to what I've analyzed on the trends and the events which had up to that point in time took place, occurred, the events which occurred in terms of geopolitics. And back in 2019, I sounded the alarm and I said, I'm going to do a workout training program because I'm on a fitness journey and I'm an independent fitness captain. So I'm going to do a workout training program which would go with myself being a geopolitical analyst and theorist, and a theorist on how, of course, to secure, defend the collective North American civilization for North America. So I've put the thought and the analysis and a little bit of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge which I had about North American realities, North American geographies, my island, Montreal, XYZ factors, coast to coast, the oceans and citizens and farming and the transport and the housing and the housing and the transport and the farming and the housing and the transport and the farming. So I've put that analysis how to defend coast to coast and such as and the need for such a, let's say, a mobilization of citizens for the defense, security, and service of the collective North American civilization, which I began advocating after COVID. After I've seen COVID, have began advocating for the implementation of my Trinity of theories, and of course, part of my workout training program system, which is effective, simple, and efficient. Which what it does, it increases general overall fitness. My workout training program, what it does, it increases general overall fitness. My workout program, it increases general overall fitness. That's what I'm calling for the public security workers, services workers to adopt it across universities, across high schools, even as low as probably maybe 7 years old. I would say about 7, they can start doing the push-ups, the hogs, the squats. Maybe not the whole workout, but it could be, and especially to mass finance coast to coast and throughout the North American collective civilization, citizens to work out, train, exercise, to do my workout via public and a private partnership, to be with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all radio, television, telecommunications, to have sessions of my workout training program, to incentivize citizens to do the workout. It's simple, effective, and efficient, requires no equipment. The rules are simple. The rules are this. You got 93 minutes to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hocks, 13 repetitions maximum per set, 3 minimum anywhere in between. Once you get to 100, however, once you start the countdown, there's no pause, no stop. You got to keep it in motion by marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace. 93 minutes total, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 hocks, 13 reps max per set, 3 minimum anywhere between 7, 6, 5, 9, 10, whatever the number is. Once you get to 100 for each. And there's a minimum requirement of 31 seconds. That's half a minute plus a second. 31 seconds of marching or jogging or running or walking fast pace in between the push-ups, the hocks, and the squats. So those are the rules. But once you start the countdown of the 93 minutes and the clock is ticking, 93 minutes to 0 or 0 to 93, whatever you can put it from 0 to 93 or vice versa, right? It's 93 minutes if you have 93 minutes count down or count up. It can be vice versa. You start the clock, the count or the countdown, the count or the countdown, count or the countdown. It doesn't matter. It's 93 minutes. It's the same. It's going to be the same, right? Second by second. So that's the total time allocated to do. I average about an hour takes me. But of course, I go overtime every time in the underground Dragon's Lair here in the room office and temple and gymnasium, which has been my underground lair and my work where I've workout, train, exercise for the past years, and where I've created, made and designed and produced the general integrated total body training system, aka the Dragon Army workout. Back in 2019, and of which I've performed more than 350 sessions, sometimes with special gridiron or hockey or whatever have you drills, integrated special ones, those special edition General War Integrated Body Training System, aka the Dragon Army workout, aka the 300 workout, which I'm very proud to have created. It's a beauty of a creational beauty, which I encourage you all to try to do. Workout, train, exercise. It has been is and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. I wish I could afford a massage therapy session. It's been 3 years. I wish I could afford a massage therapy session, but cannot afford it at the moment in time, but I'm grateful, thankful that I can take a bath. A long bath, which I usually take 1 or 2 baths now after I work out, train, and march a lot. So I have hot water boiler, thanks to the brains and the muscle who build that boiler and Hydro-Quebec workers here, the electricity, the dam, so I can have hot water, heat a bath, and take a bath, take care of the body. Encourage citizens to take regular baths, and it does wonders for yours truly, rock and roll, taking regular baths. And of course, we'll continue to do so in the coming days, weeks, and months. Workout, train, exercise. Maybe we can start Madness later today. March Madness, working out, training, and exercise. I'm gonna do special boxing, March boxing special madness in the Lair of the Dragon bilingual special editions. And back in 2020, back in time, I've had COVID. 2020, there was so the first time I had COVID, it was the hardest. Thought I was gonna die, anyways, I did. And 2021 was milder, and last year 2020 was even milder. But maybe it was because I was already, by the time I had the third time, I was already triple vaccinated. 3 vaccines for me does it, and of course public hygiene. I encourage people wash their hands, sanitize the hands. When you go in a bank, when you go in a store, when you go in a school, when you go in an office, when you go in another domain which is not your private domain, right? Now here I'm in my underground room, office, and temple, and of course I got some work, some cleaning which I do on the day. I could increase in cleaning, increase in more. I'm doing XYZ myself. I'm not perfect, far from it. I require some cleaning also in my underground room, office, and temple, but of course it's not now without not needing to clean on myself. I get dirty but I get back clean. Royally regal lofty, I get dirty but I get back clean. Royally regal lofty, I get dirty but I get back clean. Royal legal lofty, I get dirty but I get back clean. Royal legal lofty. So where we are today and where we were tomorrow, it's we have I'm hoping, I'm calling, I'm wishing, I'm advocating for us to move, at least for the collective North American civilization, towards a post COVID system, integrated North American system, with a public private partnership and the creation of my two complementary covenant cooperative institutions, for us to move towards a post COVID economic, social, political, financial, and always system for pleasure and purpose. Purpose at the moment to attain harmony between civilization and nature. So we're important to attain harmony to civilization and nature and to secure, first and foremost, liberty, freedom, and prosperity of the North American civilization realm. and I am advocating for that public-private partnership and the implementation of my Trinity of theories for the creation of the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, the International Integrated Dance League, aka the North American Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, with the North American Citizen Integrated Defense, Security Service, and Emergency Response Team, aka the Dragon Army, to be for defense only, solely for defense only, solely for defense, security, and service, based on my philosophies and theories, and the public-private partnership to be integrated with all institutions, corporations, organizations, and institutions. Of course, North American collective civilization, the North American civilizational realm, and of course the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, the North American Integrated Dance League, to be for pleasure and purpose. Purpose for the environment, environmental education and action, to see how and to educate citizens how to better do the recycling, because some things do not go in the recycling. Composting, increasing composting, solar mass financing, solar activities, all this to attain harmony between civilization and nature. Right? Civilization and nature, it's constant, and it has to be by education. Education, and action. And to dance, dance, dance. I'm the world's greatest living dancer, millennial rainbow boy. Nobody dance like yours truly. Ain't nobody dance like yours truly. Nobody dance like yours truly. That I'm the best, the greatest, super. It's a paradox in many ways, because I'm a great geopolitical analyst, a super philosopher. Next one. Although I'm mediocre, I admit at some things. I'm average at other things. I'm so-so at others. Been a POS here and there for some people. I still got maybe toxicity. I'm not perfect. Doing workout training every day, purifying, and trying to move for the greater good, while I also want something better for myself. I admit it. I wish I could afford bacon and more cheese and more bacon and more milk. Those are the three main things that I will to afford more. And no, fourth dimension, more wine as well, more wine. So let's put that. More cheese, more milk, more bacon, more wine, more hugging, more kissing, especially in a massage. Ah, oh yeah, I'll be good. Blah 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 blah. Thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, IT workers, conductors, all those cleaning workers, and of course those who picked up the garbage this week. Thank you, Big Dragon Hugs. They picked up the garbage this week and picked up the garbage. Brains and muscle. Saw them lift up, put a little bit of security, and they have some wrist, right? It's the big machine, metal, iron, steel. They load, unload the trucks. Mayor, please offer them a little bit of extra. Multi-millionaires, to our farmers, to our across this big metropolis, are those who pick up the garbage every week. Thank you. Those who pick up the garbage in those big trucks. Those who pick up the garbage in those big trucks. Those who pick up the garbage in those big trucks. Those big trucks. Farmers, butchers. Oh, anyway, I'll have an hour with Dragon radio show, television show that I would not thank or sing some rock and roll for them. For those who pick up the garbage, those who pick up the compost, those who pick up the farmers first, farmers first, all those involved in the production and distribution of food, because everybody got to eat, even Wall Street. Everybody got to eat, even Wall Street. Everybody got to eat, even Wall Street. Right? For the strippers as well. It's part of requires. I would not mind owning a Rainbow Dragon strip club. I would give discounts for the farmers, truckers, butchers, bakers, who get discounts. Farmers would get discounts. Farmers would get discounts. Truckers discounts. Garbage collectors are which public sanitation workers. Big Dragon Hugs. I like offer them some. If you ever see me marching, wear red a lot. You can say, hey, I heard your video. I pick up the guard. Can I get a Big Dragon Hug? Yeah, come here. Of course, if I say I'm gonna offer my allies and armies pledge your allegiance, allies and armies pledge your allegiance. I do, and just because I the neighborhood and I appreciate right the work. That's that. Although I'm financially struggling, and yes, I've lost economic, financial, commercial due to being LGBTQ, and yes, people gossip. Contract. We gossip. Chew our nails. We gossip because we feel inferior and mediocre sometimes. Myself perhaps included. Subconscious elements. Try to be on the medium, meaning balance the lower self, which it's hard to admit sometimes our lower selves, right? And balance with the medium and with the higher self. I try to be in the middle. Myself and others, the greater good, my own pleasure, offer others pleasure and joy with whatever I can, dancing, kissing, tickling, comedy, rock and roll, art, and the higher self. What I can bring to the table, what others can bring to the table, because everybody can bring something to the table in different shapes or forms, experiences or wills. Some people still need healing, a lot of healing. I've been depressed and suicidal. I've conquered depression. I've conquered depression, working out, training, and exercising. Right, a little bit left over sometimes. I still have, I think, three roaches left for the month of March. So one, for the next 3 weekends, one roach every week. Sabbath, during the Sabbath only. Toke that roach cannabis, yeah. But I don't use drugs. I don't use drugs. I am for the legalization as cannabis is legal here in Canada now. La Belle Province, we have the best cannabis. Also for legalizing others, cocaine and ecstasy pills. Not the dangerous ones because we need to focus on those dangerous ones. They are no good for the body. Right? It's no good for the body. It's no good for the body. But generally, I am for legalizing certain recreational drugs. Consent, security, hygiene, consent, security, hygiene, informations, consent, security, hygiene, information. Can bring some joy, some XYZ, some relief, whatever it is, right? XYZ. I am for pleasure. I'm pro pleasure and purpose. I am pro pleasure and purpose. I am pro pleasure and purpose. I want to see the youth healthy, vibrant, loving, and joyous, and working out, training, and exercising, dancing, and hugging, and with consent, hugging and loving, and XYZ always brings me joy and pleasure when I go into marches and I see people hugging or kissing. I say yes. I start laughing out loud. I say yeah. It gives me some joy. There's hope. What are we fighting for? There's so many things. Right? Channel and sublimate. It's violence, aggression needs to be channeled and sublimate through understanding and knowledge, right? Or even sexuality. It's to be channeled and sublimated. Sometimes we're embarrassed. Dragon, androgynous passage, dragon. You like once, 1 day out of 7, you like to be BDSM switched, eh? Yes, 1 day out of 7, I like to be BDSM switched. I have cuckold fantasies. There you go. You know something about me, RCMP says. 1 day out of 7, I imagine I'm married to my sister. And she cuckolds the blessing of heaven out of me. Now you can try to blackmail me, maybe. Hey, cuckold! Hey, cuck! 1 day out of 7. Only Friday midnight till Saturday. Motherfucker. Cuck. Guilty. 1 day out of 7. Queen of Spades. 1 day out of 7. Guilty. Ceases. You know even more about me, RCMP, now. Guilty. Who's gonna live the sword of freedom? You? Force freedom is delicate, something new. Even still offenses. I admit by myself I cannot lift the sword of freedom by myself. I need help, support. Freedom is, you have economic, financial, other pressures. And yes, sometimes I can, got small feet, small hands, tiny little androgynous scar clip dick. Got a big mouth, perhaps. I fight my own battles. May I be avenged 93 fold. May I be avenged 93 fold. May I be avenged 93 fold. Fight my own battles. And I'm on this island, Montreal. I want to love and be loved. And I want to dance, rock and roll, philosophize. If anybody willing, living wants to support the implementation of my Trinity theories, offer some alliance, some business. I'm open for business. I'm not perfect, far from it. Independent philosopher, artist, rock and roll. big mane, small clit lick. It's freedom and the society we live in, the collective North American civilization. Freedom has to be ensured, liberty has to be ensured. So, in my public private partnership with the philosophies and theories that I bring forth, I believe there is some resolution, some moving forward in the 21st century. Myself having been held back, depressed, and suicidal, I want to know nothing pre COVID. I want to move forward, work out, train, exercise more, hug more, definitely hug more, definitely hug more, definitely kiss more. Thank the farmers more, thank the butchers, thank the truckers more, no more. See the dams here in the La Belle Province, Quebec, see how they operate, say, wow, look at this, bravo, look at this farm, look at this civilization which we have, the electricity, and we can do more, colonize space, North America, have NORAD, satellites, and see how farming is done, and see how, of course, the electricity is done, whether from power plants or whether from solar plants or here Hydro-Quebec dams, how they operate by citizen integration theory. I believe that can help citizens integrate. Since 1984, we have a lot of alienation. And so with citizen integration theory in the Dragon Army, we can organize events, weekly events to see how farming is done, how Hydro-Quebec's works, coast to coast, North American supply chains, ports, and everything that we have, from education, cinema, theater, to cleaning, to production, distribution of food, to integrate across all levels of our North American civilizational complex for defense, security, and service by the citizen integration theory, myself included. And the DRT, the debt refusion theory, I firmly believe its time has come. On the 2nd of March now. DRT, debt refusion theory, is simply taking all private and public debt, my debt, $10,000 to the RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, 10,000, paying the most interest I've ever paid. The unprecedented 7 hikes in 2022, last year 7 times, 7 hikes last year 2022. The Bank of Canada raised the interest rate, so many of us, due to that event, is of course how the system works, is that we pay more for mortgages if they're flexible, if they're fluctuating, and of course for credit cards it increases with, or bank loans or student loans or other loans, student loans more or less, but credit lines and of course credit cards and credit lines with the bank or credit or cards, a lot of them have increased. The debt servicing, the interest, basically the money that you have to pay. So my debt refusion theory, taking all private and public debt, Canada, United States, Mexico, and since paradoxically do include the islands, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and the islands, Bahamas. In the North American civilizational complex, I include the islands, not just Canada, US, Mexico, but also Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and the Bahamas, the islands of the Caribbean, basically. I include them in the collective North American civilization as being part of the collective North American civilization. So taking all private and public debt, whatever the number is, and since the United States dollar is still the international finance currency of choice, the global trade currency of choice, the worldwide business currency of choice, the United States dollar still is, although since 2007 it has been challenged by other currencies, and even recently now more and more challenges to the United States dominance in the international financial markets, in the global trade markets, in the world commerce markets. The United States dollar still is today, 2023, March 2nd, day of March, still is the international currency of choice. So all the debt, the United States public and private debt, will remain the same because it's in the US dollar, but the Canadian, Mexico, and others will be converted to the United States dollar. Whatever the number is, that will be the initial money supply of this new North American central bank, or global, international, worldwide central bank, since I'm advocating not just for the North American civilization complex, but NATO, and Bank of International Settlements. It can actually not just save North America, but the world, if we are to move towards world peace and create what I call the UE. So that would be the initial money supply of all the debt, public and private, and then we set a limit on all loans of 10%. On all loans, student loans, business loans, pleasure loans, 10%, no more. And that credit cards, 10% maximum interest rate, be as a law of the Dance Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom. Of course, to create the UE, what I call the UE. UE stands U dot E dot U dot. Universal Exchange Unit, UE, Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. and pegged to the United States dollars. So the initial money supply, and then we can freeze the prices and do the conversion, and we can have the standardization and security of the main goods, services, goods, food, housing, transport secured by the public-private partnership Dragon Army across the collective North American civilization to provide social security in that way. Food, housing, and transport. By transport, to a certain extent, not to transport to be able to fly everybody out of space here, but with simple rules, regulations, and kilometers, miles, kilometers, miles allocated weekly, bi-weekly, monthly for citizens and internal domestic regions of the collective North American civilization for public transport and what have you. So the UE, Universal Exchange Unit, I believe it can save, propel us in the 21st century, the collective North American civilization realm. That's what I'm calling all. Astrological brother Scorpio, brother Bill Gates. My Scorpio, brother Bill Gates. My Scorpio, brother Bill Gates. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, all governments, institutions, the non-partisan public-private partnership, as I am a pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist. Firmly believe in the 21st century, this public-private partnership with these two new institutions to work with all existing public government organizations and institutions and corporations and small business, medium business, and big business together for the greater good, while also having and balancing our skills, competency, knowledge, creativity, and what have you in a public-private partnership, calling on all multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires CEOs to support Dragon's theories, the DRT, Debt Fusion theory, citizen integration theory. Well, citizen integration theory can only be done once we have the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions of the International Citizen Integration Social Security and Service Force, aka the North American Dragon Defense Security Service and Emergency Response Team, Dragon Army to be for security and service. Once we have the creation thereof, then we can have citizen integration theory. So with all other institutions to work together to encourage citizens from the big cities to go see the rural, the smaller cities where the farming, the potatoes are grown, the rutabagas are going, the big farms with the romaine lettuce. I would love to see that, where they grow that in. Actually, that one's imported, but not imported from out of the ocean. It is actually, I say, usually when I say local, I say North America. Although it's Quebec. When I say local, it's also Quebec, La Belle Province, sometimes 44 kilometers, as the potatoes I ate 2 weeks ago when I did the cooking with dragon video. It was 44 kilometers. I want to go see that one, right? Up there, that farm, those one of those 63 dams, maybe with the new ones in La Romaine, maybe to go see the Zilla Madeleine, maybe to go see so much that we have here, like the Grand Canyon, to go see, for example, how food production occurs, universities, how theater XYZ is made, movies are made, how all the things which we are, that we have as the collective North American civilization, aka the North American civilizational complex, to go see what the citizen integration theory, the CIT, that is put into action. Encourage citizens to go and see all the things and learn a little bit, whatever can be learned by questions and answers, how things are done. To fight alienation also since 1984. And to go east, west, north, south. See, wow, look at these dams. So these dams have been powering your electricity, where you have residents of Côte des Neiges, NDG Côte des Neiges, NDG Côte des Neiges right here in Montreal, Hawk Island. For the first time, let's say after 20 years, more than 20 years of, or whatever the case may be, 13 years or 20 years or 25 years or 30 plus years, they living on the island, rarely left, and wow, finally they get to see those dams. So all these years I've been utilizing this electricity. It is from one or all a combination of these dams, which the electricity, the power has come to me to watch the TV, to have the lights, to do this, to vacuum, to clean, to read, to have my electricity in my apartment, in my house, whether it's in Westmount or in my underground room office in Temple, or a big mansion of $11 million in Westmount, or my underground humble small room office in Temple. It all comes from the Hydro Quebec that is operating one of those dams, and even goes now to five or six, I believe six now, six states, to see all these things, to integrate across all levels of the collective North American civilization. That is the CIT, the Citizen Integration Theory, but can only come after the aforementioned public-private partnership institutions that I'm calling the creation are on the ground operating and going, which I'm calling, putting this public call to all willingly loving to support in any way, shape, capacity, or form, and of course with that to have also the democratic fusion theory, which is of course the need to fuse the citizenry and the security, defense, and service forces for the maintenance and the defense of the collective North American civilization, coast to coast of North America. NORAD type of NORAD type of NORAD way, and integration with citizens, and of course constant and ongoing programs of working out, training and exercising, and financing of traveling across the North American civilizational complex for the seeing how things are operated, how highways and buildings and trucking and transportation and constant education and action and doing and appreciation of collective North American civilizational complex, the realm of the North American civilizational complex. This has been a part two of this series, Coffee with Dragons, surviving COVID. I'm a COVID survivor. And don't want to go back to nothing pre-COVID. I just want to move forward, and I'm hoping, willing, and with consent, give yourselves a hug like you never hugged before. Maybe like a whole period of hockey is 20 minutes, and hug for 20 minutes, or the whole duration of this video. You can hug. And with that, yours truly again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big dragon hugs, kisses, tickles to the farmers, to the butchers, to the bakers, to the nurses, to the doctors, to the grocery store clerks. Kisses, kisses, and hugs to the butchers, to the truckers, to the nurses, to the doctors, to the grocery store clerks, to the cooks. I got hugs, I got tickles, I got kisses, I got hugs. For the farmers, farmers, everybody gotta eat, even Wall Street. For the farmers and the butchers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors, but not for Wall Street. For the butchers, for the truckers, for the nurses, for the doctors, for the bakers, I got kisses, I got tickles, I got hugs and LOV, but not for Wall Street. For the butchers and the bakers and the truckers and the nurses and the doctors and the butchers and the truckers and the farmers, 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 and the truckers and the bakers and the nurses and the doctors and the cooks, cooks, cooks and the grocery store clerks. I got LOV love and kisses and the hugs and the tickles, but not for Wall Street. Only if they give 10% of a million, every million that they make Wall Street, every million that you make. There's no way, brothers and sisters, you're a multi-millionaire if you have now in the bank account more than $1 million. Finance some food security, finance some art, finance some workout, train, exercise. Give it, spread the money, give it. Money is to buy and sell. That's why the UE, Universal Exchange Unit. I have no way, brothers and sisters, if you have money, finance, do not finance some doing, some activity, some doing. Love you. And never delete. Never delete, never delete.